Hey everybody, XEI here for a randomish sort of thing. This week I've been posting some polls on the community tab within the channel. So I'm not I didn't know about this community tab for a long time. I've always wanted to sort of engage with it more, but I just don't think a lot of users know it's even there on channels. And so creators then don't use this community tab to do fun things in. I started posting some stuff just to kind of have fun with it. I have some ideas of, more community involvement stuff. I just want to kind of tie back into the community. I want to make sure that as this channel grows, right now it's still very manageable for me, and so it works. And now that I have the laptop upstairs and this PC down here, and while I'm taking care of the dog the way that I have to, it just works out. The laptop upstairs has been crazy good. I get so much editing done. Not so much gaming, because the gaming mostly happens here, but the editing, I can get so much editing done, not so much editing done, but consistently done upstairs on the laptop. The first poll I released is, what is your preferred Let's Play length? Now, what I was trying to get at there is, I've been kind of playing around with the ideas of, do I do 30-minute videos? Do I do 1-hour videos? I wasn't really, I'm kind of playing with both of those measurements, and it's been for certain types of games, and I do think that it works better with certain types of games than others. 37% of you prefer videos that are 31 minutes to 45 minutes, and that's sort of my happy zone. It's literally what I aim for, is about 40 minutes to 45 minutes, and then it depends on the game. So if it's like a card game, I'll aim for that 35-minute to 40-minute mark, and it generally hits because it's easier to control. When I'm in an RPG and I get immersed, or there's audio cassettes playing, or there's banter happening, or their cutscene happens, it's much less easier to control, and so I aim for about 45 minutes, and I almost always go to 110 minutes, and then I cut it down somewhere between 55 and an hour 5 minutes, something like that. It's usually the way it works, but it's good to know that the majority of you are actually cool with just anything over 31 minutes. I mean 22% of you are happy with over an hour episodes. I don't mind that so much. I just feel like if I were to think about types of content again, that might happen when I start doing streaming. I will eventually do it. It's not going to be, I don't even think it's going to be this year. My little dog is a tank. He's getting his second wind, fifth wind in the last 2 years. He was given 4 months. He's at 2 years and 3 months over how long they projected that he was not doing very well. He was really not doing well, and then he's kind of gone up and down. Anyways, I'm going to derail, but the point being is I don't know where the end of that is, and at this point I've just adapted my life and this channel so I can still keep doing this stuff, but I need to find sort of ways to kind of balance it all out, and part of me is I just want to involve the community. I don't want to lose connection with the community that's growing around this channel, even if the content goes to half the posting. That's not a problem, but I want to make sure that everyone who's been a part of this channel for as long as you've been, that you're still contributing in some way to the direction of this channel. So streaming will happen. I project those to be, if I were to if Mogwai was not with me anymore, I could see myself doing half-day session streams, so that I could catch, and I would try to do them. If I would do 12 hours, I would try to do them so that I could get most of the globe. so I need to have a good bandwidth of 12 hours where I can, a couple of you guys can come in whenever you want. You can leave, you can come back, that sort of thing. And I would probably do that, once a month maybe. I would do that consistently. And then I would split those up into, let's say, 2-hour or 3-hour chunks. So if I do 12 hours, it'd be 4 episodes of 3 hours. You kind of get it, right? So that's where it would get super long for those who really kind of want to settle in and just enjoy a casual, because that would be more I would stream something I've already played. For example, I would stream Dragon Age and Mass Effect games. That content's coming back to this channel. But because I would want to stream those games, and as my first kind of venture into streaming, it'd be those games. It'd probably be Dragon Age Origins, and it would be because I would want to have banter with the stream. Because I wouldn't have to have all focus on the game anymore. I'm not spoiler dodging anymore. I would love to be getting into conversations beyond the game, and so I would like BioWare fans, especially from this community, to come in there and we'll just have a chat with each other, and so that's kind of the goal. That's the goal there. That's future thinking. future thinking. I'll get more into it, of course, more information on that when I kind of know the status of things with Mogwai. So the first comment from Ian Jackson: I think your completionist playstyle lends itself to longer videos, more than 1 hour. Anyone willing to watch you will also be willing to press pause when needed. What I do is like I'll watch a Let's Play, and then when I get to a certain episode, well, I don't really pause. I try to get through the episode, and then I just bookmark the episode I'm on, so that when I go back to the playlist, I actually go to the episode that I stopped at. Like, that's just a way for me to remember. But the way YouTube also will remember where you stopped the video, so you can go back to a video. YouTube, unless you've cleared your cache and stuff like that, YouTube will remember where you stopped, and then it'll continue from there. So there's a way to do it, but I know from the statistics that the longer the episodes get, I feel like people don't stick around and watch a lot of it. They'll I watch at ×2 speed, by the way. I don't know if you know, like everyone out there knows you can do that, but when I have to marathon Let's Plays, because they're very, these are long series, especially like if you do something like Critical Roles, and I'm super behind Critical Roles tabletop, I gotta ×2 speed that thing, man. Those are like 3 to 4 hour episodes, and then on top of it, I will sometimes fast forward by 10 seconds. So I will keep my finger on the side arrow, the arrow key, and I'll just tap it once in a while when I feel like I can. I just let my subconscious kind of fill in the blanks when certain scenes are happening or when banter's happening. I'm like, okay, tap, and 10 seconds, tap 10 seconds, and I kind of get through episodes that way a lot quicker, or series that way a lot quicker. Yes, I generally do agree. If someone is interested and they're like, they like the style. My style is very difficult for someone to also understand if they're new to the channel. I've gotten some, the gates have opened to some trolls, not a lot of them. I can count them. There's 5. There's been 5 in 3.5 years. but it's very difficult to understand my play style unless you've been here a long time. You've gotten to know me. You kind of know how deep I go into things. It can get very annoying for just like fast players. It can get annoying for power players. It can get annoying for people who, you get the point. You have to be the kind of person who like watches Let's Plays because you chill with the episode that's streaming. It's playing in the background, or you're working and it's in your headset or whatever, right? And you're just kind of just casually enjoying the episode. So yes, true. So yeah, moving on, we have Adrenaline Flunky. I prefer videos longer than an hour. It hooks you in and forces you to keep watching. That's the same reason Jacksepticeye makes his LP videos more than an hour long and makes each episode feel like a movie. I was, before this channel, what got me into eventually doing Let's Plays, I was following Jacksepticeye. He was one of the first that sort of really motivated me. Oh Jesus. Like Markiplier was also on there. Those are like obvious ones. This is when they had, under, I think Jacksepticeye, he was at, I don't know, the 3 million mark or something when I started following, and Markiplier was maybe around 7 or 8 million. But yeah, it was it wasn't even that I enjoyed their gameplay. I mean, I'm obviously, I don't game like them. I am pretty ADD like them, but I don't put that on camera all the time. It's starting to slip through sometimes. But the point is what I loved about them was their character, and not like fiction, like the character they put on screen, because it's still them, it's still their identity. It's just, it's for entertainment purposes. But the reason what I actually liked about those two was that when you watch their milestone videos, that's what actually got me. It wasn't their gameplay stuff. It's when they talked real, when they talked about their, every time they were hitting milestones and how they cared about the community. I've read negative comments, so I know there's people out there who don't like either of those two, but for me, it's like there's something genuine in the way they talked about the community, despite how big they ended up getting. And I actually created private playlists that were their milestone videos. I went and sought them out. I found all of them in order. I put them in chronological order, and then I would just watch them in chronological order to see their progression as individuals on the platform, and it motivated me. Yeah, I did catch that Jacksepticeye does longer ones. He'll do these short, they're 10 minutes is like king on YouTube, and so and they do hyper edits, even PewDiePie. And so I did notice when Jack really likes a game, or he gets really deep into a game, like for me it was Subnautica is what actually got me into like Jacksepticeye big time, was both his Subnautica series. I like Markiplier's as well, but it's like those ones would be long, and you could tell he was invested, he was into it, and he loved it. And so I wish there was more of that, but to be honest, it's just they knew how to grow a channel, and growing a channel is not long episodes. It's just not. It's just that for those who don't know how the metrics work, it's 10 minutes. They say 10. That's why you see a lot of 10-minute videos out there, is because 10 minutes is king. 10 minutes is the magical number on YouTube, where it's like the average watch time, and so the more watch time you get, the more the analytics bump you up in the recommended feeds, or the suggested, or the homepage, or the whatever. Yeah, so you get more points, you get more authority in the search engine when you have people watch your video for a great percentage of time. If it's 10 minutes, it tends to be most of those 10 minutes. If you do a 1 hour video, it's generally 10 to 15 minutes. So you actually, you're only getting points for those 10 to 15 minutes, which is a percentage of the full video's watch time. Getting very technical there, but that's kind of like just like, happy little random bits of information I'm dropping while I go through this. But yeah, I agree. We got Frederick Stein Ackerblad. I hope I didn't completely mangle the pronunciation of that name. For me, usually 30 to 45 minutes is perfectly fine, but it also depends on the game. That's what we were getting into, early on. So I agree with almost what everyone said here, even from a non-context perspective, which is why I started saying no context poll. So I want to know what you guys think, and I want to think about the poll from your perspective. If you want to leave the comments, if you don't, that's cool. I just both are cool. Being able to see the percentage, being able to see the thoughts of people who want to take the extra step of engagement to let me know, and then it's kind of I kind of agree. I agree. Again, it just makes me know that I'm kind of on the same path, even if we're all disagreeing, because it's like there's 4 different options, and obviously not everyone picked the same one. So, but just to disagree doesn't mean you're not cool with any other option. It's like. Yeah, there's reasons for why things are happening, and I just figured I'd take an episode to explain some of that stuff as I went. To continue, so for me, it's flexible depending on the structure of the game. Just stop the video where it feels natural. Yeah, exactly. Like if it's a card game, or like an indie game in particular, like I feel like when the graphics are more redundant, I feel like shorter makes more sense. So like if I were to do Dig or Die again, I love that game so much. Or like a Kingdom, yeah, gameplay that's repetitive. Visual redundancy, I feel like shorter videos make more sense. But whereas when it's like heavy stuff, like I can get into talking about things, I can there's like it's plot heavy, and so we want to get the most coherence as possible within a narrative driven game. I would say, yeah, I think the 45 is probably the shortest I would ever go, 45 minutes. But that would generally spill over into the 50-minute mark area-ish. But 1 hour, I feel like 1 hour seems to be the decent one for story-driven games. We got Matthew P. I'll watch them on a second monitor, usually while playing the same game. That's actually amusing. I've read this a couple times now from the community. It's kind of amusing. As such, I like episodes that are around an hour to match the length of my game sessions. However, that's not very important to me. So yeah, right now I wish I could do more like longer game sessions. I used to back before Mugwai was just not comfortable being down here because it's a foreign environment, and he's blind and deaf, and so he just doesn't feel comfortable. He doesn't know where he is. And there was just a point I noticed, like he'd get up, he'd bang into a lot more stuff than usual, and then he'd kind of get, I could sense that it was like a depression, because he'd eventually find the bed again, which I always had beside me, and then he'd lay down again, but it was just like he just didn't seem right. Like he does something with his ears sort of turn, and like I know he's not happy, he's not like he's like feeling sick, or he's like I don't know, like I almost feel like there's like an abandonment issue going on when he doesn't really know where I am, because if he's on the ground, he's not laying beside me or leaning up against me, and so he feels like I'm not around because he can't hear me or see me, and so I felt super guilty. I didn't want to do it anymore, so I'm not doing it. That's it. I put my foot down in February or March or whatever. I'm like, no more. And then he got better. He's like spiking up again. So hey man, I think that's spirit bond is important, man, with animals. So we have Mr. Dong here. Lol, everyone chose over 1 hour. Never mind. Yeah, I guess that was like early on, and then everyone started answering other things. So thank God, because if it was everyone was it was like thank God. If there was like 80% over 1 hour, I was like, I guess the channel's doing episodes that are over 1 hour. I would have. If you guys decided that, so the way I see this is like, if the majority of engaged community fans of this channel answered 80% or more, I guess I gotta do it. That's like, you guys drive this as much as me. So, and then we have the Nug Prince. I'd say longer ones, since I can easily play them in the background and switch between as needed or on a second monitor, though sometimes because of the game or what you're doing, shorter videos can be good as well. So it looks like we're all sort of on the same page with this first poll. So yeah, there you go. I feel like I want to do more of these things. Like I said, I have some ideas, and most of them are going to be no context polls, just because then we can just talk through it. And instead of I love responding to everybody. You guys know this. Like 99.5% of the times I will respond back to everything on this channel. There are thousands and thousands of comments. I've enjoyed that part of the experience on the channel, and I would never want to give that away. But there's a certain threshold that will happen where, you know, if the channel grows, I just won't keep up. Like some of like the last episodes of Dragon Age Inquisition fried me. I got to a point after the 48-hour mark of responding. I spent hours a day for those 2 days. It was hours devoted to, you know, just thinking and responding, and you guys got me really thinking about things. And then I started digging, and I didn't get that far. I still haven't. It's been a month and a bit now, or a month or so. I spent maybe 2 days where I watched maybe a total of 4 different videos. 4 different videos. I already forget the channel's name. I got them all bookmarked. I maybe checked a dozen wiki pages on a very specific topic I'm trying to nail down for the series I'm going to be creating. I don't want to say a lot about it, but it's a lot of writing up front. But yeah, I got fried is what I'm saying. And so that's where I started thinking, all right, I gotta take a step back. I took a break. I think I took my break after Inquisition. I took maybe 2 weeks where I just chilled. And I got to thinking about, like, what's that tipping point? When is that gonna happen? Well, like, what number in my head, you know? And so I have to be prepared for that. And that's why I want to start little things like this, because this gives me a channel to still have a dialogue with the community. You guys engage. I still, you know, I'm trying to show that, you know, I appreciate that engagement and I want to give back, and it becomes more conversational, which is what I love about. That's why I respond to as many people as possible, like everybody. Unless if I don't respond to a comment, I've either missed it or I've responded later. Like I'll lose track of it. Sometimes I lose context because it's like people are commenting on like early Dragon Age Origins videos, and I'm like, what even happened in this episode? Sometimes I know right away. It's like there's a comment, I'm like, I know exactly what this person's talking about. But other times I'm like, I don't know, and so I have to rewatch part of it, and I'm like, no, that's taking too much time. Imagine like if 100 people did that. Like the channel was big enough where I had to do that 100 times. I couldn't keep up. So this is one way I'm thinking of it. We'll do some episodes like this. So there's 2 more non-context polls, which I'll get to eventually. I figure like when it gets over 100 votes, I'll do a video like this. I might even do them. I'm gonna do one right now. I'm gonna end this episode right here though, so I can cut it together, and I'm gonna do the next video of these for the next poll. We'll get through some comments there. Those are some fun ones, and boy, you guys like Star Wars Knights of the Republic. So we'll get to that in the next episode. I'll catch you there. Don't forget to explore, engage, and inspire, buddy. Peace.